Welcome to the Garage Engineer channel. Today we are out of the shop and we are on a trip to a special event. I hopped in the truck and it's a beautiful winter day, but it feels like fall. The sun is out, the sky is blue, and the weather is crisp. So let's get on this trip. So we are heading down to the Atlanta Woodworking Show. I think it's called the Woodworking Show Atlanta. They have different shows throughout the United States, and this weekend is the Atlanta show. It's held at the Gwinnett County Fairgrounds. It's a little smaller than it has been in the past, but with COVID it really hurt a lot of their vendors and sponsors, so they had to move to a little bit smaller place. And I know on the internet a lot of people are saying, well, it's smaller, it's not as good. Well, you can't compare it to the way it was. A lot of things have changed, and I'm hearing things that this year it's a little bit bigger, and I mean that's all you can ask, is to get bigger and bigger each year, and we'll be back at the Cobb Galleria with no time soon. But there is a lot of stories if you go back into other people's YouTube channels. It was before I started doing videos on different events. I was going to them, but I wasn't vlogging them or videotaping them. But if you check Jimmy's channel, and there's a few other people that have a good documentation of what the maker event used to be.
This week, Jocko and I drove to Atlanta. We did a Who came from the furthest away?
I'm Andy Berkington, and I make stuff, and I want people to quit watching this guy, stop watching his videos, and start studying them. Watch how he moves around his shop, and study how he moves and the movements that he makes physically. I'm dead serious. You can learn so much from this dude right here. Love you, man. Love you, dude.
David, I don't know if his videos are still up, but there's some pretty crazy things that he did. One time he came down, and to pay for his trip, he had an auction in the parking lot of the Cobb Galleria, and I think that got broken up pretty quick, but he was given what he was there auctioning some pretty cool stuff. It's a pretty interesting story.
I was grown in a forest with all the room to breathe. This led a happy life.
Where's Tony? This is all Tony's fault.
All right? When I was a kid, let me tell you a story. My dad got rid of our... I don't mean from the fiery pits of hell. I'm talking from Florida. Florida!
It's one of the big things that I can remember, but and I'll see if I can find some pictures. I do have pictures of the event, and we would have makers. It had to have been at least 80 people that was left at the end of the night, and we took a great big picture outside the venue, and that was just to show how big and popular the maker community was at the time. It's gotten a little smaller, but you know, things change. So I always love checking out what the vendors have for new products, and the Woodpecker booth had this great little engineering square. They call it the mini square, and as you can see on the flyer below, it's on sale. So whenever you go to these shows, check out, see if they have any show specials. Instead of buying it from a retailer, you can pick it up at the show and maybe save a little bit. And then moving down the booth, I came across what I always love to see. It's a 4-inch combination square, but what makes this unique, it has that little tab right there that holds it up, so when you're making your mark, the top of the square doesn't fall off the edge. I think that's pretty ingenious. Across from the Woodpecker booth was the SawStop booth, and look who I ran into. Drew Oxford, Ox in the Shop, another great local Georgia maker, and he makes some wonderful bowls. You want to check him out. I love the concept of the saw stop and what they make, but this is something I didn't know about, was their miter gauge. It has the big thing that I thought was very neat about it was the micro adjustments that you can make slight changes to the degree of which angle that you are going to be cutting at. As you can see right here, I am turning the knobs and it has just real fine micro adjustments, which it would come really handy if you're doing segmented bowls and making up your different layers. There was quite a few demos, and here we have Chad from Maincrafting, who is giving demos on his laser collection that he has. He had a lot of different products to show the versatility of diode lasers out there, and he also has some fiber lasers too, which he didn't bring to the show that day, but he always has something new he wanted to show everybody. And behind Chad's demo was Daryl Jones with Dreadnought Workshops, and he was giving a wood turning demonstration. And I think at this one he was showing how to decorate lidded boxes, which was very interesting and drew a big crowd. Always one of my favorite booths at the show is the antique tools booth. They have all kinds of planes, anything that was used by the turn of the century they have here. And even check out this huge chisel. I think it's used for timber framing, and that was just huge. See, it's 3.5 inch wide, and it was probably almost 2 foot long. Pretty neat bit of history. So as we walked down the show floor, we came across the sawblades.com booth, and it's always nice to see the blades, and definitely for bandsaw blades, I've used the All Pro before, and they're pretty decent. And so again, there's a flyer showing there's show pricing, so you never know what you get. And what always is an interesting demo is the Bad Dog tools. They have some pretty interesting tools that are very tough and can cut through anything. You see this guy is using some type of drill bit that you can go at different angles. You start at one angle and just keep drilling, and you can even go almost 90 degrees drilling down through a 2x4. Then Sprycraft, I found this neat little product. It's the Dixie Bell paint. It has copper, iron, bronze, different metal particles mixed in with the paint, and then you spray an activator, and it ages the paint to make it look like it was been around for a long time. So I'm testing that out, and there should be videos coming out on that soon. Sprycraft also had a demo where they were demoing those Dixie paints again, and here's just an example of the demo that he did. It needs a little bit more activator on it, but it is a very interesting product. And here's the owner, Bradley. He's a really nice guy from Metter, Georgia, so he's a distributor down in South Georgia. And then we got Chromacraft, which here's Nick Agar, product line of wood dyes. And one last thing from this booth, they had Robert Sorby turning tools, which is always a nice little tool for your collection of wood turning. Now, the one booth that I was really interested in was the Drillnado booth. This is a dust collection system that you could add to your drill press, but what I like about it, you can see all the chips that are flying up, and it's not going everywhere, where in my shop, without that, chips just fly everywhere. But that collects it, and it has really good suction to your shop vac system. I will be having videos detailing more about the systems in the future, so keep a lookout for that. And if you're interested in these products, links in the video description below will be to my Amazon store where you can buy one for yourself. And here you see, this is Chris, the owner of the Drillnado products line, and a really nice guy, and I was really nice talking with him and talking about woodworking and equipment and dust vac system and all that. So it was a really nice time, and nice to meet him in person. One thing that's new with the Drillnado line is the Ritnado, which is the system that you can attach to your bandsaw. I was really impressed with how well this does, and there's also a Cyclone attachment that you can add, and it's just hooked up to a small little shop vac, so you don't always have to hook it up to a big system. You can just take a small shop vac and connect it to this and be mobile. Pretty neat idea. And they also do have one for your scroll saw also. if that's the type of equipment you use. Well, that was the highlights of the 2024 Woodworking Show in Atlanta. Appreciate you coming along, and I had a great time, and we'll see you next year. It can only get bigger from here. And also, thanks, Jimmy, for letting me use some of his clips from the old 2018 show. It brought back a lot of memories. Go check out that video. The link to his video is in the video description below. Thanks for watching. Remember, always be creating. Till next time. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one that you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time.